Hey horror fans, Bored now back with you. On this video I'm going to be talking about the new horror movie Primate. So this just came out into cinemas this week. So yes, it's the one about the crazed chimpanzee who develops a case of rabies and goes on a killing spree. So it's from Johanna Roberts, a British director who previously did the 48 Meters Down movies, which I weren't big on, or at least the first one I wasn't big on. I didn't see the sequel. So Lucy, played by Johnny Scrugiani, I think that's how you say her name, who people probably know best for being in Dexter New Blood. She's a college student visiting her famous deaf author father Troy and little sister Erin at his resort in Hawaii for the holidays. She's joined by close friend Kate and Kate's more obnoxious friend Hannah. The sisters are close with Dad and their pet chimpanzee Ben, left to them their late mother who was a linguist. But when Troy goes to a book event, the girls decide to let loose for the night, but after a bite from an animal, Ben goes all apeshit.
Lucy, bad. Lucy, bad. Bad. Bad.
It's not Ben anymore.
I'm not sure how the science of this all pans out. It's probably a bit hooey. People more hardcore into that stuff can let me know. But really it's just in the tradition of the fun, balls to the wall creature feature type B movies, and as that I think this is a pretty good time. It passed the time quite nicely. I thought the lead characters were surprisingly likeable, because a lot of times in these kinds of movies they're not really that likeable, and it just comes down to if they're entertaining, unlikable or not. But in this I think the core leads, Lucy, her younger sister Erin, who has a nice step up moment later in the movie where she actually comes to her sister's rescue, because there's been a bit of friction with them during the movie, and you've got sympathy for the one parent father who's lost his wife. And I think those core three characters are likeable. Lucy as the kind of final girl, the main character, I think that actress does a pretty good job. She's quite grounded, and when she's kind of trying to be someone else, trying to come out of her shell a bit, they don't really hit you in the face with that stuff. So I think they had quite a nice bond and chemistry between the three of them. And you can also tell that they care about Benji. It's not like some of the friends who, as soon as Benji turns evil and aggressive, they're like, okay, let's chuck him over a cliff, for example, like one of them does, and he ends up over the cliff himself, so calmer on that one. They do seem concerned and seem to care about Benji. And ultimately, I mean, the film comes down to them against him, and they have to survive, and things really do get pretty aggressive, I've got to say. Whether it was CGI, whether it was like motion capture, I'm not quite sure how they filmed the scenes with the chimpanzee, especially the later ones where you're really getting proper full-on fights with him and the father. But it's very well done. It's very uncomfortable maybe to watch, for animal lovers, and it is quite gnarly at times, this film, but it is very well done. I'll say that, those scenes. There's some good set pieces as well, like the one in the swimming pool is quite tense. I quite like them. We have a proactive final girl in Lucy who's quite intelligent. The way she tries to come up with strategies, like when she's slowly going towards the foam, which is at the edge of the pool, to try and get it so she can contact people. And she's very careful to do it. She's also making eye contact with Benji as a way to try and say, I come in peace, that kind of thing. So there's 2 or 3 really good set pieces. There's actually a couple of scenes. One feels a bit Jurassic Parky, or there's bits like that where you've got like the chimpanzee stomping around the dark in the house, like pressing its face up against things. There's also one that feels a bit like Halloween, and this was a really good tense scene as well, with Lucy and Erin in the closet. It's almost like the Halloween type scene for this movie, and at one point they put like a layer over it to protect them, and the chimpanzee Benji like leans into it. So it seems to be riffing off a couple of classic horror, which is fine. I thought it was well done. There is one rough moment of CGI, which is when it goes after one of the idiot broy boys and the friend, is it Lucy? No, I forget the friend's name. Rachel, I think the friend's name was, but the kind of obnoxious friend who starts chatting with these guys on the plane. I forget. Oh, Hannah's the name of the character. When they call them for help, and there's a nice bit of humour in that scene when, like, they've dared Lucy to call them, and she's kind of coming out of her shell a bit, and it's all a bit flirty and fun. And then when they're not taking them seriously, like, we need your help, Hannah goes on the offensive, and she's like, look, you idiots, get over here now. We need help. But yeah, with Hannah, because there is a bit of, okay, she's not being very sensitive to Lucy, she's been a bit more shallow and airheaded, but yeah, there's a little bit of, at least they didn't go full-blown unlikable. But there's definitely a hierarchy of characters, ones that you feel could be killed off for a little bit of tension, and you wouldn't really miss them that much, and Hannah definitely falls into that. But yeah, there's the scene where they've invited the boys round, partly because, well, absolutely because they want their help, and they still think they're playing. They still think, yeah, we're gonna have sex tonight, and they come round all prepared for the evening. One of them in particular is very sort of cocky and broy, and that scene's where you get like the dodgy CGI where Benji like literally rips into his jaw, and that looked a little bit rough. My only other critiques, I think, is then the film does drag in certain scenes. Some scenes are drawn out quite a lot in a way they didn't really need to be, especially a scene like that where you sort of know where it's going. You know that they're being teased into this and that they're going to come up against Benji. I think also there's too many characters in the movie. Like, they definitely could have streamlined it a little bit and gotten to the gist a little bit too much. Now, they do try to explain a little bit of the science of what's going on a bit, but luckily they don't spend too long on that, because I think that could have really dragged the film out more than it needed to be. As it was a pleasant surprise, and I invested in the lead characters, the sort of core 3, if you like, more than I expected to. Like, they were better characters than you would expect from this kind of movie. And there's some good horror scenes to go with it. So overall, I think this delivered for me. Like, it's not the most amazing thing ever. I don't think it's going to stand out as like one of the best horrors of the year. But I think for what it is in its little niche corner, it definitely ticks a lot of the fun boxes. Some well done horror scenes, some pretty impressive stuff with the chimpanzee. And also I quite like the very end, because you just get this little bit of a sting where they think they've defeated it and they think it's dead, and it suddenly appears as though maybe it's not. But I think it's just treated as this little sting rather than something that necessarily has to lead to a sequel. Now, obviously, it depends on the box office. We may well get a sequel if the box office is good, because that's kind of the way things work. But it definitely feels like an old school horror moment, cliffhanger type thing where it's just there in case they want to do a sequel later. It's just a little sting rather than it being this is trying to set something up for another horror movie. It's just one of those kind of classic horror endings. So I was fine with that as well. It didn't feel like it was trying too hard to be like a sequel bait hook. So yeah, a pleasant time. I think for the right audience this is going to hit quite nicely. So that's Primate, and I'm going to give it a very solid 6.5 out of 10. So let me know if you've seen the movie, like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, you can also support me on patreon.com/borednow, or you can become a channel member at 3 different tiers. You get a bunch of extras over there and across the 2 platforms. You can also hit me up with a super thanks here on YouTube, or a free way to help out the channel is you can hit the hype button on this video, and it helps me get me out to more eyes. But thanks everyone, I'll be back with more horror reviews soon. I'm going to be covering Send Help, the new Sam Raimi movie. I'm also going to be covering Iron Lung, so I've got a couple more horror movies reviews on the way soon. But let me know what you think of Primate. Take care everyone, keep watching horror movies. See you soon, bye.
We're in Hawaii, baby!
This is crazy! This is home. There's someone I want you to meet. This is Ben.
My hand? He wants to shake my hand?
Yeah. Hi, Ben! Oh. Our mom rescued him, and now he's part of our family.
Ben, happy.
He's kind of cute!
Yeah, right?
Ben?
Did something bite him?
Ben? There's something wrong with Ben.
Hey, what happened? It's me, Lucy. It's okay.
In the pool! Ben can't swim!
Lucy, bad. Bad. Bad.
Give me the phone. Try recent calls.
Yes, it's ringing. Brad, listen to me. We need help.
Oh, you need some help?
Send somebody.
911, what's your emergency?
Here, just send the police.
Ma'am?
He found me.
What's up?
Sure this is the right place?
Who the hell has a pet chimp?